If you have an evap code or an evap leak, I'm going to help you out. Multiple tone here, guys, and today I have a Jeep Wrangler with an evap code. Now, I will tell you one little tip about evap. You can have a P0440, 442, 445. You can have all 441. You can have all kinds of evap codes. And let me give you a little tip. Just because it says purge valve in the code does not mean it is a bad purge valve. Just because it says leak in the code does not mean it's a leak. There are many ways to test different evap components. In this video, I'm going to show you how to test. This is a Jeep Wrangler. We're going to be messing around with the purge valve. I'm going to show you ways to test it with a rubber glove, with a scope, with a vacuum pump, a gauge, all kinds of stuff. Stick with me. Now, I filmed this whole video in the wrong format because I had just got a new scope and I wasn't really sure about how I was going to do the video, but I hope you like it. Hope it turns out well, and I hope it helps you. Before we get started, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell. You get notified of all my future content, which you definitely don't want to miss. All right, let's jump right in.
All right, before we get started, let's talk about what is evap. Evap is the storing of fuel vapors, and it all starts from the fuel tank right there. So those fuel vapors, they get trapped and they go into the canister right there. So the canister is where the fuel vapors are stored for emissions. And this is a simple system. So in this system, we have the fuel tank, the canister, we have a vent valve and a purge valve. So the vent valve is the back door that vents the fuel system from having excessive pressure, and it is normally open. Then we have the purge valve, which is normally closed. So on one side of the purge valve, we have intake manifold coming from right there by the throttle body. That comes up to the purge valve. Then the computer turns on the purge valve, which opens up in a duty cycle on-off, and it purges the vapors from the canister into the intake manifold where it reburns the vapors to help with emissions.
This 97 Jeep here, this thing's been in for purge code problems for days. Anyways, on this Chrysler, what I always like to do is test the purge valve first, no matter what, the functionality of it. This is on Chrysler's, it can't be running. Normally, I would just disconnect this and I would activate it on and off, and make sure I don't have vacuum and have vacuum. But on a Chrysler, you can't do it running. So what we got here is the vehicle's off. It's not running. It's not commanded. I've got a vacuum gauge here, a vacuum pump right here to the purge valve. And we're going to pump it up. And now this should hold vacuum. This is a normally closed solenoid. So there we go, and it bleeds off. So this one is a bad purge valve. Look at that. No bueno. And we can even come over here and we can start the actuator. So now it actually shouldn't hold any vacuum whatsoever. And it just bleeds off. So right here. Stop actuator, come over here, same result. And just to make sure it's not being commanded, disconnect the electrical connector. Let's do this one more time. And there we go. Bad purge valve, starting off the morning. My first time using the scope with my Autel Ultra S2, so I got a split screen here, and I'm testing a purge valve. Now, on this Jeep, you can't test it running, so I've back probed the purge valve here. They're backwards because I had a good connection, and I just swapped the leads. But anyways, I got that hooked up. So we got it hooked up on this side. So right now, with it off, we can see right here, we have 0 volts. It's off, okay? So before I was testing it and vacuum was dropping, I thought I had a bad purge valve, wouldn't seal. But anyways, so here we go. I'm pumping it up. And it's holding, it's off. It should be holding. So now, let's go ahead and operate it. So now we're going to start the actuator. And now you can see we have a duty cycle. And we're duty cycling. And we're going to test it here. And it is not releasing at all whatsoever. But pretty cool to be able to use this right here on this side, activate the purge valve and everything, and then come on this side and use the scope. Nice, beautiful, bright display. I love this. I got to figure it all out. I'm not used to using a scope like this. The leads are super long because you got to be hooked up to your VCMI. So I could actually left this in the vehicle and still had enough room for my leads to make it. And it's a 4-channel scope, so pretty saucy. And just to be sure, this is a 97 Jeep. I just wanted to be sure. So I even got out the red line detection speed smoke just to make sure. We use the flow gauge here. This thing never, ever releases. It doesn't allow anything to pass through. It just is constantly sealed. So we got a bad valve no matter whether it's on or off. It's not allowing any flow through the purge valve. Now my last little test I got going, just because I got other stuff going. I'm trying to get better at using this scope and figuring this thing out. But anyways, so I'm scoping the purge valve right now, and I've got a vacuum gauge hooked up to the canister side of the purge valve. And so basically what I'm looking for is once this starts duty cycling, I'm looking for vacuum, and then I'll know 100%. But we've replaced this purge valve multiple times, PCM, somebody else did a PCM, did wiring, whole bunch of stuff. So anyways, last little test, and I'm really just trying to get better at using this full setup here. So, and I'm going to pull live data so I can see right here. It'll say the duty cycle when it's on. I'll make sure I get a signal. I'll make sure I got vacuum. Confirmation. I already know the purge valve isn't working, but I just want to see it in action. I couldn't get to the live data in time. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, I saw duty cycle here, and then looked here, and as you can see, we got no vacuum at all whatsoever coming through this purge valve. So this guy's dead. Pretty cool. Scope is showing it. We got the volts showing the duty cycle. I'm sure I can figure this out to set this up better to show duty cycle, but anyways, it is showing an on and off. We should be seeing vacuum coming through. We're not, so we got a bad purge valve. And let's look here. And so right there, we got the purge duty cycle 6%, 6, 7%. And we got nothing right here. Just to make sure, I'm really just trying to go the extra mile. So these things don't really read very well from 0 to 5. So I got a regular vacuum gauge. That one's not reading. And my last test is actually my real test when it comes to vacuum. So you see, we still have duty cycle. We still have 6%. There should be some vacuum. So the way I like to test vacuum is I put a rubber glove on. And if there's vacuum, as I pull my finger away, for one, you'll hear it, but you'll see the glove sticking to the hose. And you can see it's not sticking at all whatsoever. So the only way that we could not have a bad purge valve is if we have a bad vacuum port down there, or a hose from the vacuum port. That's easy to check. Let's pull this off and see. And confirmation. We have vacuum going to the purge valve right there. So we got a bad purge valve. All right, we got the new purge valve in, and now we're going to confirm that it's fixed. So we're going to do this 2 ways. We're going to do it through the actuation test, and then we're going to do it running. So you can see here again, I'm just tapped into the line from the purge valve to the canister right here with a vacuum gauge. And we've got the purge valve actuating. Just use the Top Don today, the Top Don Phoenix Lite 3, because it's smaller and easier to operate. And so as you can see here, this thing does not even vacuum at all. Here, let me try to get it in a spot where you can see it. I cannot pump it up at all. Not even a little bit. So we know that it's fixed now, but now we're going to go ahead and start it up and let it run until the purge valve kicks on. So we'll get out of this, and then we'll go to duty cycle data, and we'll let it run. All right, cool. So now we have duty cycle, so 6.27%. And as you can see here, we actually have some vacuum. Look at that. We have 5 inches of vacuum, whereas before we had none. The old purge valve was not opening at all. So new purge valve fixed it, confirmed both ways, functional test and this way. The other way you could do it is you could disconnect the connector and you could just apply straight power and ground, and it should open. And then you release the power, and then it should be closed. So this one is fixed. Oh, one last confirmation, which is what I had showed before with the rubber glove. If you have a rubber glove, you can feel it. It's not really sucking the glove because it's not a lot of vacuum, but I can feel the vacuum. After watching this video, I hope that this helped you kind of understand Evap a little bit, how to test it, and also the different methods that I use to test it. Now, in this video, I showed you ways to see if the purge valve was working. I also showed you ways to look at, now this is one thing you don't see, is ways to see if the computer is turning on the purge valve and how it turns on. You notice that the purge valve did not just go from 0 volts to 12 volts or 5 volts, it went up and down, up and down, up and down. That's because a purge valve, when it operates, it goes, that's because it's constantly turned on and off, called a duty cycle. That's why we saw the constant up and down. So, I hope this helped you. Drop a comment down below and let me know if this helped you out, if you learned anything from this video, or if you just loved watching me. And that Autel Ultra S2 is pretty darn awesome. So stay tuned for more scoping content in the future. All right. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.